where are you? That's TH, right? And you know what is called the external point. So what does mean external point? It's the point which is not on the graph. So what we did yesterday with you, right? The point was always sitting on the graph, right? Yep. What if a point is not on the graph of a function? How do we find the slope, equation of a tangent in this case? Okay. This stuff is in your packets on page somewhere 41. Page 41, and the first problem there, let's start from that one, number 16. The function is y equals x squared, and the point is 0, negative 9. Well, first of all, again, on the test or anywhere else, nobody is going to be nice to you and say, please people watch, this point is not on the graph. That's not going to happen. Follow me? But you should see immediately that when x equals 0, y must be equal 0 if it's on the graph. So this point is not on the graph of the function, right? So what's the story? The story is pretty much this. This is your parabola, let's say. Right? And somewhere on the y-axis below the parabola, you have a point. Right? That point is 0, negative 9. And from this point, we want to draw a tangent to the graph, right? So obviously there are going to be two of them. One is going to go this way, and the other one is going to go that way. Okay? Now, I will try to show you a way which looks to me very natural way, but it's different from what I saw other people do. I just figured out yesterday. So, how are we going to work it out? First of all, I hope you understand what the problem is. The problem is that, what are you missing to find the equation of the tangent? See, let's say this is your tangent, right? What are you missing for that? Only one thing, you're missing the slope, right? You have a point already on the tangent, so it doesn't matter what, you already have y-intercept pretty much in this specific case. It's not like you're going to have it always, but this is the y-intercept, negative 9. You get it, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're missing the slope. Now, to find the slope when the point was on the curve, we plugged in the x of the point into the derivative. We cannot do it right now for a very simple reason. This point is not on the curve, not on the parabola, not on the curve, right? So what do? We need to find the point of tangency. That's our thing, right? Now we know this point of tangency is on that graph, right? Yeah. So that means x and y coordinates of this point satisfy this equation. So that means if x is, let's say, t
squared,
then y must be exactly t squared. So far, we okay with that? Yes or no? Yes. Now, what I'm allowed to do with this t now? What I'm allowed to do with this t, since I know this point is on the curve?
Find the slope and then make
I'm allowed to use this t to find the slope, right? And means to plug this t where? In the derivative, right? So that means I know that my derivative is 2x, correct? So from here I can find the slope of the tangent, and I can say the slope of the tangent is what? 2t. You okay with this part? Mm-hmm. So here I found the slope of my tangent. It's 2t. Understood, right? Then we can work in a couple of different ways from here. Pretty much I can write the equation of a tangent and say this point actually is on the graph. Or, what I like personally to say, this same slope I can just calculate y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. right? So this same slope is equal to what?
T squared minus T
Think
squared
t squared
plus 9
plus 9 over
T minus.
So far so good. What did I just get? I got an equation right here. This equation produces for me the point of tangency. So what did I do again? I found the slope of a tangent, plugging in the x of the point of tangency, which is always going to be t in this case, right? And also I can do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 using a simple formula for the slope of the line through two given points, right? So solving this equation, we get 2t squared equals t squared plus 9. T squared equals 9, so t is plus or minus 3, which was expected, since we understand that there must be another tangent line somewhere this way. So that means I know that here here is positive 3, and on the other side I have negative 3. So far understood, my friends? So now we can find the equation of both tangents, and if they're asking you find point of tangency, so you know point of tangency is going to be what? Plus or minus 3 comma 9, since it's t squared, right? But I don't even need this point actually. This point I don't really need to find an equation of a tangent. Why? Because this one is easier to use even. But I do need this guy for what? To find the slope. I cannot find the slope without that. So now I know that my slope of the tangent is what?
6 or negative 6.
Yeah.
Plus or minus 6, right? Yep. So you forgive me, I'm going to write right away y equals plus or minus 6, x subtract 9. That's the two tangents. It just happens to be slope is 6 or negative 6, and y-intercept is negative 9, since we were lucky having this point on the y-axis. Is that okay? Now you're not going to have always this luxury to have that point on the y-axis. So let's take a look at number 18. Number 18 is y equals negative x squared plus 8x minus 15, and the point is 5, 1. I want to stress one more time. I'm not going to be nice to you, telling you guys be careful, point may not be on the graph. So you simply plug in 1 here, and you obviously understand that negative 25 minus 15 is how much? It's like negative 40 plus 40 is not 1. So this way you know the point is not on the graph, so you just make this process. Now, you don't have to get me like an exact diagram. Just what's happening here. Somehow there is a graph, which is parabola. Make it parabola if you like. Okay? Then somewhere there is a line, which is a tangent. See, this is somewhere the point, and maybe we have two tangents again. We're gonna see soon. But what's the only important thing? The point of tangency I call what?
T.
Minus t squared.
Minus.
Negative t squared plus 8t plus minus 15. That's my point of tangency. Here is my point 5, 1, right? And what's my process now? What's the procedure right now? First, we find what? Derivative, which is negative 2x plus 8, right? Now we are saying that the slope of the tangent we can calculate in two ways. Way number 1. Aidan, what's going to be the first way?
Well, we plug in t, so negative 2t plus 8.
Which must be equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right?
Yeah.
So what do we get then? Negative t
2t
squared
plus 8t minus minus 14, just say.
I believe it's 16.
Or 16, sorry, yeah.
Over,
5 minus t minus 5.
yeah, don't forget we're making this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is your equation. You see, just in this case, you get a more complicated a little bit equation, which I hope you can handle. So we get what? Negative 2t plus 8 multiplied by, everybody understand what equation I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Right here. Equals negative t squared plus 8t minus 16. So we get, okay, let's try to simplify it right away because I don't want to spend half the class. So here is negative 2t squared, right? I'm going to add it to the other side. It's going to be just t squared, okay? Then how many t's we have here? Oh, here is already positive 8t, which cancels this one out, right? So it's going to be on a negative 10t, right?
No,
It'd be positive.
no, you're
I
subtracting.
moved.
You're subtracting.
Oh,
And here is negative 40, and I make it positive 40, so it's plus 24, I guess?
Yes.
Yeah?
yeah.
Okay, so we get again two solutions, which are 6 and 4. Please separate between them. So, because now we're gonna go with each of them individually. So if t is 6, then my slope is right there, right? That's the slope. So it's negative 12 plus 8, which is negative 4. And the equation of the tangent in this case, and again, I'm gonna use this point, I'm lazy, I don't wanna find that one. But actually, you can. It must be the same answer. Maybe that's good, that's a good checkpoint. So let me call this one M1, that's the first one, right? So where is my equation of the tangent? Y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. You know what just happened there, guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
And m2, when it's a 4, so I get 0, good job. So then it's easy. Then it's going to be y equals y minus 5 equals 0. Okay?
1 minus 1.
Wait,
Oh.
1 minus 1.
It's 1 minus 1.
Y minus 1. Alright. Correction, y minus 1 equals 0. Okay. Now, if you want to simplify it, have fun. Okay? Now, let's see what came out. Oh, I got a message also.